Hey YouTube friends, how you doing today? It's Monday, May 21st, and I'm here with your daily wine or review. At the club, Jack leaves Nikki a message inviting her to dinner. Later saying that there is no pressure to answer his proposal, although a yes would be nice. At the ranch, Nikki, grimaces as she sees Sharon and Victor kissing and talking about the dress and how it's perfect, and he always know, it's kind of back on what she had said Friday. How she thought about when Victor told her he always know what to pick. She always know what to pick or whatever. So she runs out and she leaves because she's so hurt and disappointed. Okay, she just got through kissing on Jack, so why is she upset? But anyway, so Sharon and Victor notice the open door, but Sharon thinks she left it open when she came in, upset. Sharon thinks Victor has a lot on his mind, and wonders what she was thinking about when she came over. He wonders what she was thinking about when she came over, all upset. So neither one of them tell each other what happened with the whole her with Adam and him seeing Jack and Nikki. So he glad she came over, but asks if they were wise to continue what they doing. And she partially understands, the outsiders how they feel versus them being together, she just wishes that everybody would get over it so that they can go on with their lives. Victor says he's giving her an out, and she just doesn't want to take it. She said, I'm just sleepy. He's like, is everything okay? You look tired. She said, I'm just sleepy, have a lot going on or whatever. So Victor said they can decide another day on what they're gonna do as far as the lives go. And by the time he turned around, she was already asleep. So at Crimson Light, Ricky is eavesdropping. I'm sorry, about Christine and Phyllis going at it each other. Christine was like, "Excuse me, did I just hear you call me a bee under your breath?" And so Phyllis is like, "Yeah, you're right. I should have said it out loud." And so Christine confronts her about being immature and calling her a bee, and Ricky just eating it up. So Phyllis tells her that she should have when Phyllis leaves, so they exchange their words, and Phyllis go ahead and leave. So Ricky goes over and he talks to Christine, who's, Paul and already filled her in on so much stuff. So she looking like all crazy, like, I really don't want to be here with you, but, I'm going to try to be cordial. And not so obvious that, you know, I don't really want to feel comfortable around you. So he tell her he wants to apologize to her for the things he did. For the things his mom did to her. And Christine says he's not responsible. That was totally your mom. You had nothing to do with it. You weren't, old enough to understand and all that. Ricky said he's learning who not to trust, and he wants to compare notes on Phyllis because he know that her and Phyllis, has their past. So Christine's like, I wonder why he's asking me all these questions. So they talking or whatever. But then it turns out it's his turn to share, and he don't want to talk about nothing. He want to just walk off. So he done got all he needed out of her, and now he ready to go. So backstage at the the concert, Danny is talking to his daddy, and he's got the baby, and he introduces Danny as the greatest father in the world, and now this is her grandfather. So Danny is like cooing and eyeing, and oh, this is the most beautiful girl in the world, and look at those eyes. And he's like, I just want to know how you did it. Like, why did you do it? Danny says you fell for her, didn't you? And he was like, yeah, but and he just realizing what Lucy mean to him and how much he want to be in her life. And he like, I'll do anything, I'll make all these sacrifices and all of this. Just how did you do it? I know my mom is such a hard person to deal with. And he's like, well, I did it for you. I love you. You were my son. I want to be a part of your life, and sometimes you just got to do it. So he was like, well, do you think she'll hurt her? Do you think Daisy will hurt her or something, or be bad? She's like, no. He's like, no, Daisy is nothing like that. She's so different with her. She would never even think to do anything like that to her. And he's like, I just married her to keep Lucy safe, so I can always see her or be around her. So Daniel, he said he doesn't know if he made the right choice, but Danny advises him to focus on what matters to him the most. For him, is being a dad. So nothing else is more important. So if you have to be married to be the dad, then that's what you have to do. So Daniel says it was doomed to fail, and Danny tells him to his own decision and be. Daniel tell him his own decision and to be confident in what he wants to do. If that's what you want to do, do it. If not, then you have to deal with the consequences. So he says, you're doing a tough thing for the right for the right reasons. And he was like, well, it just doesn't feel, like I'm doing the right thing. But if you say so, but I just want my daughter in my life. I never thought that she would make me feel this way. So he said, I'm not sure if we'll survive it, but we'll see. So Danny says, things, you think you can do anything. Everything will be okay. You can get it done. So Daniel leaves. Ricky comes up acting like he was an interviewer, and he gets to asking him all kind of questions. He starts out with asking questions about the music, and then he starts to bits and pieces try to bring up his past with dealing with Phyllis and all that. And he was like, "Well, give me more details about this and this and this." And Danny can sense it. And he's like, "Wait a minute." He goes, "Well, I gotta get to some fans. So if we're finished, I can show you out." And he's like, "No, I know my way out. But let's get on this right here." And that's what Ricky said. So Danny was like, "Security, can you show him out?" And he's like, "I know my own way out." So he kind of brushed that off. So after Nikki saw Sharon and knew Victor, she just ran off and she went to go see Jack. And he noticed that she didn't look so well. And he's like, "Well, what's wrong?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm gonna be okay." And he was like, "No, you not okay. You not smiling or none of that. What's wrong?" So she go ahead and tell him that she seen him with Vic. She seen Sharon with Victor in this dress, and they seem like hugged up, lovey-dovey couple, and it kind of irritated her. So Jack laughed, and she was mad. "I'm telling you this, and you're laughing at me and all of that. This isn't funny. This is serious. This is my life." So Nikki says if she could cut Victor out of her heart, she would, but she just can't. So Jack admits he admits he's hung up on Victor too, but in a different way. So Jake turns all romantic, and he's like, "Well, you can forget Victor if you just marry me." And so Nikki said, "Well, I love you very much, and you know what? I will marry you." So they kiss, and that's that part. Meanwhile, Daisy's going around everywhere looking for Daniel. She can't find him. So finally, she goes to the bookstore. She bumps into Eden. She say, "Hey, homewrecker, have you seen my husband?" And so Eden just walked off. So she followed her. And she was like, "I don't know where your husband is, but, whatever. I haven't seen him, so why are you looking for me? That's your husband. And so Daisy just keeps getting back in her face, and Eden gets to making fun of her, like, "You see my husband, you see my husband." So they go back and forth, and Daisy tell her to stay away from her husband, and Eden just pushes her off like she wouldn't impose on their deep cosmic bond, like, making fun of her. So at Crimson Light, Paul and Christine are sitting at the table, and Eden comes up, and he's like, "Is everything okay? Did Ricky leave and all of that?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, he left. I haven't had any more problems with him." And so he says, "Well, I still want you to stay away from my son." And I'm just, he's just telling her that again. And she's like, "Okay, I get it. I understand." So she knows she's gonna stay away. So he gets to talking to Christine, and Christine is like, Paul's like, "I don't know if I'm just reading too much into this or what." And she goes, "Well, before today, no, I don't think you were reading into it too much at all. Ricky made me feel very uncomfortable. He's got a vendetta, and it's like it's against Phyllis. So, he's got something against, he's fixated on another woman, and it's Phyllis. So Paul's like, what would he have, wonders what would have turned out differently had he raised him. Had things been different, if he would have raised him versus Isabella. Then he just keeps blaming something that he may have done that caused it. So Paul said he was waiting to hear from a student named Bryce Hunt and all of that. So Danny, after Ricky leave, Danny gets on the phone and he calls Phyllis. Phyllis is at the athletic club, pretty much sitting by herself. So he calls Phyllis and he tells her that Ricky has something, Ricky has something against you, like he wants to hurt you or something like that. And she was like, what? She looked kind of off. So Paul's looking at Rachel's suicide note report on his laptops and make a call trying to get information. He spots Phyllis and asks her about why she fired Ricky. Phyllis tells Phyllis says it didn't get prettier after he helped write the Patty story, and they believed he helped Daisy make it look like Daniel was an unfit parent, and apologizes for whatever pain Ricky may have caused her. And of course, Danny called her and he said he met Lucy, and she said, "Oh, you saw Daniel?" He said, "Yeah." And then I was interviewed by somebody by the name of Ricky Williams. Do you know him? And she said, "Well, yeah. He used to work for me and I fired him." And he was like, "Well, he's got a grudge against you." And so Phyllis says even his own father is unnerved by him. So Ricky is leaving the club or whatever, and he gets a phone call, and it's from the guy that named Bryce. And he was like, "Hey man, some guy's calling here questioning about you." And he was like, "Well, who is it?" And he gives him the phone number that Paul called from. And he was like, "Oh yeah, he's a detective named Paul. Keep me posted if he, if he calls again, but I'll take it from here." So Daniel finally get home and he tell Daisy where he went. He said, "Well, yeah, I went to see my dad. I wanted Daisy to meet her grandfather." And he was like, "Well, she was like, well, we should have went together because I would have wanted to meet your dad. I mean, after all, he's my father-in-law. I'm his daughter-in-law." And he goes, "No, it was something that she needs to do, on her own." So Daisy is upset. She was like, "I was really worried, and you took her away from me. Why would you do that? And I don't ever want you to do that again. I was scared for my baby." And she took Lucy from him, and you know, she wanted him to promise her never to do that again. And Daniel tells her he won't leave. He's here for good. And Daisy snuggles up to him, and he says that they're a family now. Well, she's like, "Oh, I'm glad we're a family now." So that's what happened today. On tomorrow, Jack tells Nikki, "I'm about to beat everyone, Victor, Genevieve, the SEC, and guess what the first prize is?" Christine tells Kane he's making a terrible mistake. He says he appreciates the warning, but they're done. Avery tells Victor this could be a disaster for Genevieve. He replies, and a windfall for me. So that's what happened today, and I will see you guys tomorrow for your daily Y&R review. You have a great day. Bye-bye.